Hello, my name is Panpasa Chaichancwichet. My student ID is 6224150116, and today I will be presenting about the introduction and specific characters of Generation X. So, what is Generation X? Generation X, or its short name as Gen X, was a period born between 1965 to 1980, which was a generation after Baby Boomer and before Gen Y. People who were born between 1965 to 1980 that have ages between 40 to 55 years old are all counting as Gen X. And here are 5 examples of Gen X specific characters. 1. Generation X is more direct to the point during a conversation. Generation X value having open and honest conversations and don't care that much about niceties. 2. Generation X professional keep their feedback and do not let negative feedback push them toward anxiety. Generation X professionals are not panicked when they receive negative feedback at work, and they rather use it to improve their work for better quality, not to be praised. 3. Generation X keep up work-life balance. Generation X is better at having work-life balance than silent generations and baby boomers who turn to become workaholic. 4. Generation X has a hybrid relationship with technology. Generation X was not born with technology, so they are not addicted to technology devices, and many of them are not so similar to the use of technology in their first period of work life. Last but not least, 5. Generation X has a better skill in cooperation in the workplace. Since Generation X was not born with technology, they know how to make a strong connection between people to people in workplace.
Hello, my name is Sorathan Srithong. My student ID is 622415022. Today I am going to present about attitude towards society on the perspective, live and work in Generation X. Generation X have high self-confidence and want to find authority by themselves, compete work by themselves, or owning it. Many people in Gen X tend to be antisocial, but it doesn't mean that they can get along with people. They don't believe in religions and don't rely on custom and tradition. They are also people that are flexible in adapting to change culture, such as looking before marriage and divorce for them is really normal. Example of attitude towards society on the perspective, live and work. Believe in themselves. Gen X people who grew up in transition period from era of difficulty of an age of change, progress and possibility of the modern world. They are more ready to live than before. Guileless. In the world of Gen X, people therefore adhering to the concept of honesty, straightforwardness, and transparency, including open-mindedness and listen to other people's opinions. Looking at the world as reality. Gen X people also have dreams that drive life goals and consider reality in their life, whether they can make those dreams come true or not. Thank you.
My name is Naritsara Ubonla. My student ID is 622415010. I will present about content that tend to influence Generation X. What is tend to influence Generation X? Generation X were influenced by the baby boomers and motivated by constant feedback. Generation X are focusing on their jobs and education. And we will discuss more about the influence of Generation X in it. Generation X were influenced by baby boomers, which is a previous generation. Baby boomers have created an era of freedom and fought for social change and women's rights and created era of service and volunteering. Generation X also were motivated by content feedback. They prefer receiving feedback at work to improve their working skills. They are having an open conversation, so this is helped them to have a honest conversation and direct to the point. Gen X are more focusing on the jobs and educations. This generation tend to have a successful work and education. They have high skill in collaboration and communication in workplace. So more of them have high educated and graduated in bachelor degree. They prefer having a better value of work-life balance than another generations.
Hello, my name is Boodsabar Santhep. My student ID is 6224150113, and today I will be presenting about marketing strategy on Generation X. Generation X or Gen X is the demographic cohort following the baby boomers. There are no precise dates for when this cohort starts or ends. Demographers and researchers typically use starting birth year ranging from the early to mid 1960s and ending birth years ranging from the late 1970s to early 1980s. True hybrids of Generation X, they enjoy to buy things conveniently online, but they still enjoy shopping in store. 80% are on Facebook prefer the desktop versions, but 48% of Generation Xers use Facebook regularly. Facebook is the most popular social site for these generations. 84% of Gen Xers have brand loyalty. 87% of Gen Xers have purchased something online. Gen Xers prefer to access social media between 8 p.m. and midnight. Tip for marketing to Generation X. Everyone loves coupons. Gen Xers were just gaining momentum in the workforce when Great Recessions hit. They don't think they can rely on Social Security after retirement. Gen Xers are saving up for college, home ownership, starting a business, and retirement. But email marketing seems to be old news. It is still the best way to communicate with Generation X. This generation is already plugged into Outlook constantly for work and updates from family. It is natural that they would react positively to retail emails. Not to mention, they are checking email at work, at home, on tablets, and iPhones and desktops. Targeting Generation X. Be straightforward and provide a good call to action. Post of this between 8 p.m. and midnight. Beef up your reviews on the social sites. Target offers for luxury items to the Gen Xers. That's it for today. This is some example marketing strategy on Generation X. Actually, there are more information and more tips for marketing strategy on Generation X on the internet. You can get it from there. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I will present about Do and Don't in Generation X. Presented by my name is Boonyasub Intharachai. First, choose do or do. The first one is focus on every problem. Gen X has a very tolerant, excellent ability to work under high pressure when various problems occur. The second one is provide a lot of information and content. They lead the pack in the term of write and consume review online. The third one, In the last one of should do and do, keep it personal. Most Gen X are now parents and their Generation X consume media that reflect their world. Both men and women of Generation X are drawn to TV advertisements that showcase everyday life and real-world situations. And about topic shouldn't do and don't. Our first one is beat around the bush. Gen X grew up in a Field 19 and have an excellent ability to snip out of BS. Plus of majority of Gen X are manager or entrepreneur and have the experience to put to your task. The second one is ignore social media. Millennials are often seen as the social media of such generation, but Gen X are just as likely to engage with brands on social media. In fact, in some cases, they are more likely to use social media. And the last one is send them to bad websites. Gen X demand information like personal touch, and they are active web users point them to outdated, clunky, and incomplete websites, and they turn right around and never look back. This is about all of my presentation about do and don't in Generation X. Thank you.